Where did he serve us? He served us for about a little under 1,000 years in as the Moors in Europe. That's why they made up the story, which is not made up. They made up the story about Santa Claus and Black Pete. With his black little elves, and the black elf is the one that's going to take you into a bag and then send you to Spain, because the Israelites, the Moors, used to kidnap the white women and the white little kids and sell them as slaves. So yeah, it's not a fake thing. I already did a story about that, a video about that. Anyway, so yeah, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have dominion that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. We had these so-called white people in slavery, and by his sword he did that. And then this is what the Lord Yahushua said in the book of Matthew, chapter 26, verse 52. Then said Yahushua unto him, Put up again thy sword into his place. Now here it comes. For all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. So it basically says, if you live by the gun, you will die by the gun. If you live by the sword, you will die by the sword. If you use swords or guns, you will die with the same instrument that you use. So you rather be peaceful. That's what he's saying unto his servant that stretched out the sword, you know, and smote off the ear of the Roman centurion, soldier. It also says it right here in the book of Revelations, chapter 13 and 9. The book of Revelation 13 and 9. Actually, it says it in verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Meaning, if you lead into slavery, you shall go into slavery. Because a lot of people, I've come across a couple of people that are actually trying to say, no, that's not talking about slavery. I'm looking at the person, I'll be like, you really love these so-called white people, don't you? Anyway, the condition of being captive. Who was captive? The slaves. The ones, here it is, imprisonment, right? Captivity. Captivity. The state or period of being held imprisoned, enslaved, or confined. Captivity means enslaved. Okay? See also punishment, slavery. Yep. Captivity is enslaved. The so-called negros, Latinos, and indianos were enslaved. Okay? Going back to the book of Matthew. No, Revelation. Here it comes. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So he that leadeth into slavery shall go into slavery. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Haven't they killed the so-called Native Americans with the sword? Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the end. They have murdered with the sword, and they must needs be killed, which will be indignation and a righteous anger and a righteous wrath and a righteous judgment. So, what the hell? So going back to this video, where is it? I think. Wait a minute. Genesis 27. Yeah. Think I'm done here. Yep. Yeah, this is the last one, I think. So yeah, check this out.
Eventually, after many months at sea, Griffin Peterson and his shipmates finally reached the New World.
This is the New World. They reached the New World, right?
I declare this land Quahog.
This place is nothing but a wilderness. What are we gonna do?
We're gonna build a new settlement. We'll
A new settlement, right? It was the New World Order.
have a happy new life, and we'll have equal rights for all.
Equal rights for all so-called white people. In the beginning. Because in the beginning, you didn't have so-called white people that were bums. You never saw a so-called white man eating out of the garbage. Back in those days. Like in the 1920s and stuff like that. They was all living the good life. The blessings of Esau.
Except blacks, Asians, Hispanics, Jews,
Except blacks, Asian, Hispanics, Jews,
gays, women, Muslims.
women, Muslim, because they used to hate gay people. They used to put women under them, like a real man, but he's a faggot anyway. He's a real liar. Muslims.
Everybody who's not a white man.
Everybody who's not a white man. I'm gonna repeat everything he says just to make you get it.
And I mean white, so no Italians, no Polish.
And I mean white, so no Italians, no Polish.
Just people from Ireland, England, and Scotland.
Just people from Ireland, England, and Scotland. Now, but check what he goes back on that and check what he says.
But only certain parts of Scotland and Ireland.
But only certain parts of Scotland and Ireland.
Just
and also Italy.
Full-blooded whites. No, you know what? Not even whites. Nobody gets any rights. America.
So he says after that, you know what? Nobody gets any rights. America. And that's what it's going to, because they want to take away the rights of every so-called American citizen in America.
Eventually, after many months at sea, Griffin Peterson and his shipmates finally reached the New World.
I declare this land Quahog.
This place is nothing but a wilderness. What are we gonna do?
We're gonna build a new settlement. We'll have a happy new life, and we'll have equal rights for all. Except blacks, Asians, Hispanics, Jews, gays, women, Muslims. Everybody who's not a white man. And I mean white, so no Italians, no Polish. Just people from Ireland, England, and Scotland. But only certain parts of Scotland and Ireland. Just full-blooded whites. No, you know what? Not even whites. Nobody gets any rights. America.
And I gotta say something quick before I end this. I used to go to school with this kid. I never liked him because I saw him as a crank. I never liked him. He was always just, that white kid to me. But I didn't notice that he was smoking weed and shit. Okay, gay people smoke weed too, so what? But then as we got older, he started dressing up like brothers and stuff like that. But I still didn't like him because I thought he was a cracker trying to love us and take our stuff like Elvis Presley or something. And yeah, he used to put the hat on, like that and stuff, everything, be like us, talk like us. And his sister was a hoe. She was also a so-called black woman, getting bumped up by every so-called black man she could find, getting bucked up. I'm not bumped up as in pregnant, but, bump and grind and stuff like that, knocking boots, And I always thought, like, well, they basically just really like so-called black people, right? The so-called Negroes, right? But he's Polish. So I can understand that he might as well be an issue, even though so-called white man says it. These white people. But yeah, I can understand that he might just be an Israelite. Now I can understand it. Back in the days, I was like, so why he acted like that? I didn't even bother. But it didn't even irritate me. I was like, well, not irritated. Well, I just looked at it different. Like, well, they're all trying to be like us because we doper than them. I mean, we the best. We the best at everything. So, there's no question mark to the reason why he wants to be like us. But anyway, the quick thing I wanted to say is, not every Israelite is gonna look like John Shaft, as the elder Gabriel always says, Not every Israelite is going to look like dark skin, because around here, nobody knows who John Shaft is. Let me just say, not every Israelite is going to be dark skinned with woolly hair like a so-called Negro. You're going to have ones from Poland. It's just really weird. I know it's in the book of Revelations. I think it's chapter. think it's chapter 14. Yeah, chapter 14, first one. And then Job, Acts 2. Revelation 14 and 1. Revelation chapter 14 and 1. Wait a minute. Do I have it good? I think. Yeah. And I looked, and behold, a lamb stood on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their head. And I heard a voice from heaven, as a voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from earth. If a so-called heathen look-alike person is gonna listen to this song, which is being sang right now by the elders of GMS, he's most likely an Israelite, and he most likely will be redeemed. Because the wicked will not understand, as the scripture said. These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. That's talking about other religions. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. I am a jealous God. You are married unto me. We are married unto the, we are joined together with the Most High. These are they which, because the word marriage means joined together, so it's not a sexual thing, you dumbasses. For the people that, you got a lot of people talking, thinking stupid stuff, Even I was thinking, like, I know better. But, the word marriage, you'd be like, we're the Most High's wife? Huh? How? Huh? Huh? What? Anyway, these are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the Most High and to the Lamb. The first fruits are going back to the ones that before the earth was formed, they were formed. And also the first fruits of the one that are going to survive the second death. Okay? Verse 5. And in their mouths was found no guile, meaning they're not deceitful. Like General Jehanna, Nathaniel 7, GODC, the guy Rakah, I think, and a couple of others. For they are without fault before the Most High, before the throne of the Most High of God. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth. What is the everlasting gospel? The scriptures. The word gospel means good news. What is the everlasting good news? The scriptures. And every nation and kindred and tongue and people, saying, see, every nation, kindred, tongue, and people. Now you would think, hey, it's not only for Israel, but check this out. The book of Acts chapter 2, verse 1. And when the day of Pentecost was fully come, there were all with one accord in one place. And suddenly there came a sound from heaven as a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the houses where they were sitting. And there appeared unto them cloven tongues like as of fire, and it sat upon each of them, and they were all filled with the Holy Ghost, and began to speak with other tongues and spirits, and the Spirit gave them uttering. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. And here it goes into the nation, Parthians, Medes, Elamites, the ones dwelling in Mesopotamia, Judea, Cappadocia, Pontus, and Asia. So you're even going to have Israelites looking like Asians. See, I wanted to finish this, but I think I'm going to have to do another one. Salakia Pateh.